Hey guys, welcome here. So I'm going to show you how to do your lash cluster. So first you're going to curl your lashes. Make sure you curl both sides. This is the bond. You're going to want to make sure you shake it. This is what's going to make your clusters stick to your eyelashes. So you're going to make sure you take off any excess. And then you're going to want to lift your eyelashes right here. And you're going to want to go halfway up. Now some people go all the way up. I prefer halfway up, but make sure you get that bottom lash line saturated so that the cluster will actually stick well to your lashes. This is what's going to make or break your bond. So you're going to want to make sure that your lash bond gets tacky before you apply your clusters. This is my sultry, my volume line. You see here I'm just kind of making sure my lash is dry. The mango lash is going to make some texture to your lashes. So I'm doing 2 sets today. So you're going to also get a lash tweezer with your kit. When taking off your cluster, you want to make sure you pull off from the bottom of the lash, not the top. And so I also like to add on an extra layer of bond. So I go across on my cluster at the bottom. You'll also want to make sure that you have the cluster facing towards you and you're holding it from the top. So you're going to want to hold your eyelid up, and then you're going to want to look down so your lashes are visible. You also want to start from the underneath and make sure you don't get the cluster on your lash line. You're going to want to tap to make sure that the natural lashes and the cluster are touching. Go ahead and put another one right beside there. I'm not overlapping here because I want texture in between my sets. Sometimes your bottom lashes will stick because the bond is still tacky. Don't worry about it. You can just pull that apart. No problem. Again, I go in, I tap with the back of my tweezer to make sure that they are stuck together. And I just check to make sure that there's nothing on my waterline. Stay clear from your waterline. That will cause discomfort. Now this is just to show you what the mango looks like before I put my second set underneath. I like to double stack, so this is going to be the lavish. This is a more thicker volume, so I'm going to put it underneath. And so how I do that is you need to take your bond and you need to put the bond on the cluster before applying it. Sometimes I get too much bond, so I just tap it off, the excess, I blow on it to get it tacky again. You want it tacky, and then you want to go underneath ever so slightly. You want to make sure that the clusters are together, and again, not on your lash line. So you want to push it towards you so that they're angled towards you and that they're touching each other. Again, tap, tap, tap. I just make sure that everything is touching and is together. Of course, I'm mom of 5 and one of my oldest has to come in. Never a dull moment. Okay, so I keep going here. I'll keep applying the bond to the cluster, and I'll keep making my way all the way across. I double blink just to make sure that I don't feel anything on my lash line, and then I go ahead and I take my tweezer and I pinch them together. This will make your bond together amazing. You want to make sure your natural lashes are touching and stuck with the cluster. I go in with my fingers sometimes just to really make sure. And so my inner corner, I cut one of the clusters in half because I didn't need such a long piece there. So you can also do that too. Cut them in half just to show you a side by side. No lashes. Okay, so we're going to repeat what I did on the one side to the other. So we're not quite done here. After we put our lashes on, we want to use this seal, that is number 2. This will lock in the lashes and make sure they're not sticky and tacky, and it will take a little bit for it to not be fully tacky. Make sure you don't get this in your eyes because this can make your eyes burn a little bit. So I go across, back and forth. I try not to go on the tips of my lashes. If you go on the tips of your lashes, it does make it feel crunchy. You don't want to do that. You want to avoid that. So I just kind of go back and forth and kind of push it in a little bit. I then take my tweezer and I rub it between. You'll see right here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch and kind of go up just ever so slightly to make sure that anywhere I had that bond, it is now going to be sealed. So I try to avoid touching the tips of my lashes, and I just kind of go up, tap, 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 and then voila, this is the finished product. How amazing is this? So this was a double stack set, and now you've seen how to apply your cluster lashes.